All right, y'all, how we doing? So I got 17 October, about about 1 o'clock here in the Pacific. Hope you guys are doing well and safe. So I wanted to do this quick video in homage of, I saw this about 2 hours ago, Secretary of State and also Joint Chief of Staff Colin Powell has passed away at 84, 84 years old or so, okay? That he lived a good part of life. And, in the eyes probably of a lot of people, particularly a lot of African-American people, all right, that he's an icon. And there's a lot of people that don't like him, okay? I don't think that he was that bad of a guy, okay? And let me just talk a little bit about Colin Powell, all right? That he was basically the Joint Chief of Staff. He was the first African-American, or so-called African-American, or so-called black, all right? Chief of Staff, a Joint Chief of Staff with the other guy, General Norm Schwarzkopf. He passed away about 4 years ago, all right? And he was also a very popular general himself during that Gulf War, okay? That helped us get some of the credibility back to the American Army after the Vietnam War, okay? Both those guys, but Colin Powell particularly, served a couple of tours in Vietnam, and those guys actually did some time together, okay? There were like lieutenants and all that, okay? So, and he did around 30 years or so in the Army, okay? By the time I was getting in the Army, he was getting out. Or this is General Powell at the time, all right? I do remember where he got a lot of backlash about those guys getting Gulf War syndrome and so forth, all right? But all in all, that he did a lot, I think, for the military. During Bush's campaign, and he was under both Bushes, just so you'll know, okay, as the Chief of Staff for the first Bush, and then, I'm sorry, let me start over. For the Joint Chief of Staff for the first Bush, and then for the Secretary of State for the second George Bush, okay? And, he is a Republican, true. But I don't think that when we had the 911 campaign, all right, at the time I was stationed in Georgia, I was a young sergeant back then, I don't think that he agreed to what Bush Jr. was doing. And I think that he tried to give him and Donald Rumsfeld tried to give him sound advice not to go that route, and Bush Jr. didn't listen. And I do remember himself and then Donald Rumsfeld stepping down at the end of Bush's first term. So he wasn't in on all the rhetoric, but I think he understood, the game. Nevertheless, hey man, like, he lived to be about, like, say, 85 years old. He passed away from complications with COVID and the shot, all right, from reports. And I'm really not going to get too much into that, all right? But, he lived his life, and his life served a purpose. I'll say like that, all right? And, it was sad to see him go. And I'm heartfelt for his wife and his, he's got children and grandchildren and all that, all right, probably great grandchildren. So again, homage to former General and Secretary of State Colin Powell. All right, you guys have a good day. Feel free to subscribe. Stay tuned for more content and all that stuff. If you want to donate, Cash App $ Winston Spivey or SPIVEW1 at unlv.nevada.edu.